Hi, I'm TR, and this is my mid-century ranch home renovation project.
Hi, it's TR back with another episode in my mid-century ranch home renovation project. And today we're doing something I have never done before, and that is repairing a hardwood floor. So in this bedroom here, where I'm working right now, there has been some water damage to the floor. I'll show you. You can see here, it's pretty badly stained. Plus, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but look how big the gaps are here. I mean, they're really wide. And so it looks like to me like some of the boards have shrunk. It's likely that maybe the floor has shifted one way or the other. And so we're going to try to repair this. So what I've done is I've removed some flooring from a closet. I've been talking to several hardwood floor guys, and they said that's your best bet with being able to match the floor. And so what I've done is over here in this closet, I removed the flooring. And so we're going to use that to repair this area over here. I've got two saws here. I've got this guy, which is one of those oscillating tools. Okay. And I've got a bunch of blades here for wood, plastic, metal blades. So I got this on Amazon, and the reason I bought this one was because it came with all these blades, and it was 35 bucks. Now, admittedly, when I was taking the floor out of that, I burned through two blades trying to get the floor out because I didn't have a circular saw. So I went to Harbor Freight Tools, got a new circular saw, 35 bucks or something like that. But I don't use anything that cuts or drills from Harbor Freight. They're just not good quality, they're not hardened. So I slipped over and got this blade from Home Depot, a Diablo demolition blade. 24 tooth, should go right through this flooring, and we'll get it set up in a minute. Before we get started, I want to remind you that there is a playlist linked in this corner right up here with all of the videos in series. And I've been working on this now for about 4 weeks today. Actually, not quite 4 weeks, because I closed 1 month ago today, and then I didn't get started until the Saturday after I closed, so 2 or 3 days of jinking around, kind of getting things working and sorted out. So I'm about 27 days into this project now. I have everything completely painted, all ready to go. So the floor is the last thing I'm going to do, and then I'll come back in and I'll put in all the trim that I'm replacing. You'll notice that the baseboards are all gone. And so I stripped out the baseboards and those sorts of things. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this seam right here. Hopefully you can see that, but there is a seam right here. I'm going to try to take this and split this out and use this part. I'll get it out. This board here is going to be my starting point. So I'm going to go ahead and get a blade here. And again, I've never done this. I did watch some videos online. I watched this old house video, a couple others, but of course, you know, who can argue with Tom Silva on this old house? I mean, the guy knows everything, I swear. But I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up here. I think I might go get myself a face mask because I'm going to be generating a bunch of dust. And so let me go do that. And I'll grab this piece of, I grabbed this piece of rubber padding from the old carpet when I removed the carpet. That'll just help. In fact, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to use this carpet pad to save my knees. Funny story behind this power here. This came out of a server room. I had built a server room in Boise, Idaho many years ago. And these were hanging from the ceiling, and then we had computers plugged into these. And then when we moved out, we went in and we took all of these out, and I gave them out to the staff. I kept one. But then the rest of the staff who was interested was able to take one home. I just put a plug on the end, and it's worked amazingly well. I've been packing this around for over 10 years now, and I've used it in many, many places, and it's super handy to have. So I'm going to start by splitting this, and then we're going to cut a line down the middle of this with the circular saw, and then we're going to break it out. We're going to set the depth on this so it just cuts just through. This is 3/4 inch thick, 2 1/4 wide. So we'll just come in here. Perfect. Can you see that? I have it set, the blade set just slightly more than 3/4 of an inch. So the tooth is just showing past the blade. Okay, I'm going to double check here. All right. So we're going to cut what we can cut here, and then I'll have to finish that cut with the oscillating saw, since I can't get quite up close to the wall. Let's kick on our laser here. We're going to do a plunge cut. So you want to be careful with this that it doesn't kick back on you. Okay, let me get this on. We'll finish this cut up with this reciprocator here. Well, I'm going to cut this right here. All right, so the reason we cut this here is we need to have room to pinch the board down and get it out of a tongue and groove, because this is tongue and groove, right? So this is busted up, but this has got a tongue on it here and then a groove cut in it. And to try to take this apart without doing that is a nightmare. So let's see what we got here. I got an old junky chisel. And it looks like good old Tommy Silva gave me the right answer here. Now I'll tell you what, I wish I would have watched this video before I took the floor out of the closet, because I didn't do it this way, and it was a huge pain in the hoo. So there should probably be nails. There should probably be nails in this other piece. And I'm going to need a bigger hammer, that's for sure. Okay. So I'm just going to use this nail puller as like a pry bar and put it in. Voila. Now that we have it started, the rest of it should come right out pretty easy. Let's get this nail out of here. I need a garbage can. That's what I need. Look at that. This thing is such bad shape, this nail just busted off. It's been rusted. So, one more trip to go get a tool. Okay, got some water too. Well, so we're going to start working from the tongue side here. Now this piece here, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out where the gap is really large. So probably right here. So here's my square. We're going to want to stagger the ends of this where it ends. And so we'll cut this one here. Then this one will come in here and cut, and then we'll come in here and we'll just bounce back and forth to stagger the ends so we can weave this all back together. Now, Tommy says that if you take your utility knife and you score this wood here, that way, your oscillating tool won't want to wander outside of the cut there. Now, let's just root this down. Again, we're going to make a plunge cut. Finish this up back here. Here. And I didn't get it cut quite through there, so better now. So this maple is hard as a rock, and that blade is burning through as much as it is cutting through, but we're getting her there. Let's see, we're going to come in and we'll take this one out. Let's make sure that we come back and make it random. I don't want to make it shorter than the piece I have, and so that's pretty good. So I think what we'll do is we're going to come in here and we'll come back just by eyeball. Actually, I think this piece probably needs to come out. So we'll come back here, say to somewhere in here. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to check in with you when I get this out, and we'll see where we're at that point, because I need to turn the fan on. It's hotter than Hades in here. And I'm sweating like a pig, so I'm going to lose the hat. As you can see, it's hot, and it's supposed to be like 95 today. But we'll get her back in a bit. Okay, so I've been about an hour and a half, and I think I've got all the bad parts, the bad chunks of floor out of here. So I've sanded a lot of these, and just to make sure that I can get them sanded down and they look okay. They're flattening out pretty good. I'm using just my palm sander with some 40 grit on it, and it's been working pretty decent. So I've got some liquid nails here. I'll put a link in the description below to my Amazon store if you'd like to support the channel. That's always appreciated. I got this on Amazon. It's a couple bucks a tube, but it's definitely worth it. So according to the instructions I got on this old house, replacing some floor, Tommy used some of this, and so that's what I'm going to use, because everything so far he showed in that video has worked perfectly. It's been, although it's really hot and a little bit of work, we're getting there. So let's cut this tip off here. I like to cut it at a 45. That's my own personal preference. You can do what you want. There's a metal seal inside this. You're only going to get one use out of this tube because it will set up on you. So there's a poker on this caulking gun here to poke that seal, and we got her. And so we're just going to take and lay a little bit of it right here. Oh, and before I get too carried away, what I want to do is just drive some nails in that tongue to stabilize that board. Now, we're just going to come in here, and you'll note that, because I can't really slide the tongue up in here into the groove, I just trimmed the tongue off. And so I'm just going to come in and set this in here like this. And then with a persuader here and a strap piece of wood, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to fit this in here. So let's see, I need a tongue groove side. I'm going to put that in there. And actually, I think I'll put this in here and let's see if I can persuade this to get in there. Come on. Alright, we have to do a little bit more persuading. Where is the other persuader here? There it goes. Okay, I need to bring this down here a little bit and clean that up. So hopefully I can get in here and not destroy the wall. That's not too bad. Oh, I need a nail set here. One of those nails is sticking up. That's what the problem is. I got a nail poking up there and it's causing that tongue not to want to go on there. So let's just go in here and set this nail. There it goes. This open here a little bit again. Let's see if I can get this down there a little better. Now, let's take this. So I'm using the groove into this on the tongue and just driving that in there. And that's looking pretty good. So let's see if we can nail this off. Okay, so now the noise is over. I need one that measures 26 1/4 And it doesn't need to be right on, so I'm going to go 26. That'll leave me a 1/4 inch on the other end, which will be just fine because I'm going to have some base molding around that anyway. Square. Alright. Now we'll just stack up a couple pieces of this. And let's cut this off. Way too much stuff here. I need to clean up.
Shackled to the grindstone, working this assembly line. Working like a dog from early in the morning, sometimes until the sun don't shine. I'm a-watching that clock and I'm ready to rock when the little hand points to 5. I'm gonna live myself to death before I die. I'll be living it up till the day they lay me down. I'll stop kicking when they put me 6 feet under the ground. Yeah, I know there's a train a-coming, but until that train arrives, I'm gonna live myself to death before I die. 'Cause I'm a juke-joint, jumping, honky-tonkin' fool. I still got a few good years left in these cowboy boots. Well, when my time comes, I don't mind a-going, but I won't be standing in line. I'm gonna live myself to death before I die. You know that's right. I've got an 8 o'clock date with the cutie from the Diamond 5. They got a band down in Nashville jumping at the duck and dive. St. Peter knows where to find me if I need to be found tonight. I'm gonna live myself to death before I die. 'Cause I'm a juke-joint, jumping, honky-tonkin' fool. Tonight I'll be dragging hot leather on my cowboy boots. When my time comes, I don't mind going, but I won't be standing in line. I'm gonna live myself to death before I die. I know there's a train a-coming, St. Peter, brother, take your time. I'm gonna live myself to death before I die.
So good morning, it's the next day. And I didn't realize it yesterday afternoon, but my camera battery ran down. I was so into getting this floor down and getting it repaired that I wasn't paying attention to the camera. But I went ahead and just continued on with the fitting the wood in here, measuring it. I had to cut the tongues off on a couple of them. I used that vibrating multi-tool to do that. And overall, it turned out pretty good. It's not perfect, okay? But I'm the only one that's gonna know it's here because nobody will ever come in here and look, oh, look at this, there's a crack right here, or this and that. So it is what it is. It turned out really pretty good. I did have to do quite a bit of leveling because I overlooked something that really made a big difference. Hang on here, I think I have a small piece of this. Right here. So underneath this floor was this asphaltic like tar paper. And they do that to keep it from squeaking, okay? And that's from back in the 50s. This house was built in 1950, and so back in the 50s, this is what they used underneath the floor. And I wanted to glue the flooring down, and I knew it wasn't going to glue with this in there, so I took it out. Well, that caused me a bit of an issue with leveling of the floor. Where I had replaced the wood in this section here and then over here, there was quite a bit of elevation difference between the new wood and the old. Well, I lost a 1/16 of an inch or so. Plus, some of the wood was cupped because it had gotten wet. So what happened is that when the wood gets wet, it cups. The edges will peel up like that. And so I tried. Where's it at? Here it is. So I tried my little orbital palm sander, which through happen chance, I took the, where's it at here? Where's the bag? Oh, it's over here, I don't know. But there's a little bag on here, right, that catches the dust. But it just happens that this 2.5-inch tube from my shop vac fits in here perfectly. It may have been designed that way, I don't know. But it worked really good to keep the dust down. But with this 40 grit paper on here, it wasn't, actually this might be 60. I've got some 40 here. Here's the 40. But this 40 grit, I was going to get there, but it was going to take forever to get the surface level again. So I went over to Harbor Freight, and I picked up these resin discs. These are grinding resin discs, 36 grit. And then I took my 7-inch buffer. This is a variable speed. I left it on speed 3. So, and then I just used this to level this floor out, knock down the high spots, okay? Now you want to be super careful with this because you can gouge the hell out of the floor and make yourself a real mess. And so what I did was I just feathered, like in this particular area here, right in here, this was a real problem because like I say, I had this 1/16 of an inch of elevation difference. So I just very carefully and gently sanded this down, and then went back over it with the palm sander with the 40 grit, took the scratches out I made with the 36 grit, and then this is actually 60 grit. And I came back and I polished it up with some 60 grit, took all the rest of the sanding marks out. There's still a few here and there, but I'll work on this a bit more today. But actually, to be honest with you, I'm really happy with the way it turned out, considering it's my first attempt at repairing a hardwood floor like this. It actually did a really good job. I'm really happy with the way it leveled the floor out. And then, and today I'll be going through and doing the rest of the sanding with the big sander. I'm not going to use a drum sander because the floors aren't in that bad a shape. But I will be using an orbital sander with some 36 grit to knock down the finish and then go on from there. Now, if it turns out that that's just too much work, I'll go back and get the drum sander and I'll drum sand it. But I'm going to try the least aggressive method first, and that's a good rule of thumb to use anytime you're trying to refinish anything. Whether it be paint on your RV like mine, or you're trying to refinish your floor, you want to start with the least aggressive method because it'll save you a lot of work in the long run. So I hope you found value in this video. If you did, give me that thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. There are a lot more how-to videos to come as I continue along with my mid-century ranch home renovation project. Questions or comments, you can make them below. If you're going to tell me I did something wrong, well, it's probably a little too late because it'll probably be 12 weeks or so after this is done before the video ever plays. It might be good to know for later, and if you're kind with your comments, I'm happy to listen to them and respond to you. If you're going to be a jerk, don't bother. I'll just delete your comment. There's no place for that on my channel. But I think that will probably have to do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. I sure do appreciate it. Until we get together again for another mid-century ranch home renovation project, peace.